Hey, AfterBuzzers and Siren fans, episode 9, one away from the season finale, and what a street fight was that! So much went down, and oh my gosh, is there trouble in paradise? I'm not quite sure, but we can't wait to talk about it, especially because we have special guest Ron Yuan in the studio, aka Dr. Drecker. You won't want to miss this, so stick around.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys! Welcome back. We are so excited to be here another week because we are joined by Ron Yuan, who plays Dr. Decker. What's going on?
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we're so excited to ask you a bunch of questions that we know you probably can't answer, but we'll probably get into it. But before we do, hey guys, your host Nasta here, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host Karla Beltran. What's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going?
And Sarah Linus, what's going on?
Hey.
Man, overall thoughts of this episode?
Amazing. It was like the episode you needed right before the season finale, and I'm really
Exactly.
stoked for it. Yeah.
It just started a lot of thoughts. It's just like, oh, I cannot wait to see how it ends. It's a lot. It was good.
Ron, what were you thinking? You're like, I kind of know too much. I know we were making really like loud and screams
Oh my
and yelps
gosh.
throughout this episode, and Ron was like, "That was fun to watch." Because we're very emotionally tied to this show because we
Yeah.
love it so much. But breaking it all down with Ben and Rin this episode.
Oh,
Ben is in love.
Ben
He's
is
in love.
Is he
He's
in
in
love
love.
or is he hypnotized, y'all?
He's in love.
Ron, what are you thinking?
I think Lord.
Lured. Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
I like that. I like that word. Okay. Yeah.
It
But
makes,
that could be a combination of both, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in this episode, I feel like we've seen it in the other episodes, but I feel like in this episode it was definitely very strong and very hard, like really intense. Like
Oh
the
my
way that he
gosh.
was like, "We need to do this for Rin." I was like.
He's
I was
having
like,
dreams about
yeah,
her.
it was like a different. He's having dreams about
He can't
her.
stop
He's like,
thinking about
yeah.
her. I think he's
Everything's about Rin right now.
Yeah, he's on the level of Decker. Decker and Donna.
Yeah.
He's like in the obsession level right now.
And Dr. Decker is clearly obsessed, and we see that.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see more of the unwinding.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, for Dr. Decker, I mean, he's kind of one of those characters that hasn't said too much this season, but it's like, it's all written over his face of what the concern and the worry and the stress and kind of this pressure that he kind of feels like he needs to uphold for the Navy or whatever he may be working on.
Right.
So, what was that kind of progress in order to have to kind of curate that in this character?
Yeah, you hit it on the nail because the back history is, he's trying to further his science and medical research. You got, one in on that, but then because he gets lured and then all this love and obsession it's like he's got this constant yin and yang going back and forth. So I was just trying to hit that, get that feeling across as far as the vulnerability, but yet he's trying to do the right thing, but then, all this stuff keeps going back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and I mean, you do such a great job of that because part of your character is showing that on your face, and it's conveyed very well. So I would like you to know that. And then also, we're kind of confused at the whole Dr. Decker and Ben's mom situation because it's almost like he's trying to push her away, as if she's going to get in between anything. Is there anything you can say without spoiling their relationship? Is that a fully loaded question?
Fully loaded.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, I don't want you to have to say anything that you can't, but that's kind of where we're lying
But
right now.
the thing is, it is. This is already out, so it's definitely it's a way to get to Ben.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the main. Thing. Yeah.
That would make sense. And then we
Yeah.
obviously saw that this episode because he was really, really trying to make that connection. But
Right.
they all know him as the
bad guy.
the bad guy that
yeah.
took away their friends.
Right.
And who hurt Donna, because that's what Donna keeps insisting is that, like, you guys hurt her, you know?
Exactly.
Exactly.
But I think in this episode, it really, like, I was feeling for your character because you wanted to help. Like, I want to help. And so I was just trying to, like, shut off that bad guy,
Yeah.
skin. So.
Yeah, I think because the audience knows that earlier episodes I stop the treatment for Donna,
Yeah.
which is why she was able to escape. So the audience knows, but the cast, as far as the characters don't know. So I'm still the bad guy,
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of, or the guy I don't know. We should trust him, and
Yeah.
For us, I think we're starting to trust him. We're starting
Yes.
to grow that as an audience.
Yeah.
Because you get
Especially in this episode. In this episode, we were like, you're going to save Donna. We know that Dr. Decker is going to save Donna.
I know.
because he loves her.
Carla actually nailed that one in the house. Like, it's Chris. He's coming back. And then they were like, no, it's definitely Dr. Decker. Definitely, we have some learning lessons that's going to happen. And he needs to kind of help Ben kind of learn and figure out what he's going to do with Donna. But also, we've got a lovely podcast that helps you learn and grow in all areas of your life. So,
All
Sarah, could you
areas.
tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I sure can. So for those of you that do want to learn and grow, we have the perfect podcast for you. It is called Conversations with Maria Menounos, Podcast Edition, and it's hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder, and it drops every single Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews, along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of your life. From health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and so much more, let our Maria be the big sister that you've always wanted. So just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos, and it is free, okay? That's the kind of podcast I like. So be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know that it was us here at Siren that sent you there. Conversations with Maria Menounos, Podcast Edition. Check it out.
It is amazing. There's a lot of positive things that you can take away from it, a lot of inspiration. But kind of going on to the opposite of positivity would be these new mermaids.
Oh my God.
These new mermaids,
Over.
they were crazy and totally took over. What was happening here? I just can't even.
Did you actually think they took over? I didn't think they took over. I know that they wanted to, but I didn't actually
end well
see
for
it.
them.
Didn't end well
Right.
for them, but I didn't actually see them take over. Because I think, if anything, like, they always had the upper hand on them.
Honestly, I was surprised that they didn't kill the people that they took their clothes from.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? But yeah, I was expecting more destruction, especially since they're coming for like revenge and to.
But I think they were coming to kill Rin. I think that's why, because in the beginning, I thought the same thing. When we find out that the people that they took the clothes from were at the police station, I was like, oh, okay, well, they're not here to kill people. They were here to kill Rin.
Yeah.
And then somehow Donna.
Right.
Yeah, which
That
was
surprised me.
a totally crazy reveal. So let's get into that. We find out that these mermaids want to kill their own in order for them to stay away from humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have this story that we were introduced to at the beginning of the season, but actually it turns out, Rin makes it a mistake. This isn't a story. This is something that was real that happened, which we kind of get that little Easter egg of there was a man and then the mermaid that had a baby, and the dad killed the baby and the mom went away. My question for you guys is, do you think that this baby actually died because they noticed it was special? So I was thinking, obviously, we're still trying to figure out how Helen ties in as being a mermaid and whatnot. So did that baby survive somehow?
Oh my gosh, that baby is Helen.
That's what I was thinking.
What?
Yeah,
But I
that
thought there was something like creepy about, or something like off about the thing. Like, they made it seem like it was like a thing baby, not like a...
Not a mermaid. But I think that's kind of what we're hinting at here, is that
Okay.
when mermaids and humans get together, whether they're sharing DNA kind of like Chris and Donna do at this point, or whether they have a baby together, it's almost like a superhuman maybe in a way. Because when you were doing research in the lab as Dr.
Right.
Drucker, he noticed that these rats were surviving at a faster rate.
Incredible healing properties and everything else.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know, guys. I'm thinking that
I have two theories. I always have theories. The first theory is either Helen is the baby, or Helen is the woman in the story.
I'm still waiting to see when Helen made their reveal, like, oh, I'm one of you. How, Helen? How are you one of
Yeah.
How are you one of them? Like, I want to know.
And now that we know that she's related to Ben's family as well.
Yes.
So that's even another like a twisted.
Because the guy is probably the great.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then she is,
Okay, so that makes
and
So-
she's a lot older than we think she is.
So last week what we were saying is, like, we don't actually know how old sirens can live for.
That's
And we
true.
don't actually know how, like, they age either.
Right.
So I was saying that she could be actually a lot older than what we think she is in like human
That is
years.
a good point, because she did say she was related to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, y'all.
It's all coming together. It's all coming together. And I feel like Dr. Decker is actually going to be the one that kind of is the one that mends them all together, because you kind of have all of the answers that they would like to know, because you've done the most research on these creatures.
Yeah.
Right. So I want
Right.
to see what you have learned.
To be determined.
I have a question. You probably, I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but does Dr. Decker find out that Helen is a siren while he goes there to like find out, to fix Donna?
Plead the fifth.
Yeah.
If you can't answer it, you don't have to. But
I'm realizing now.
I shouldn't answer that.
Ron, I'm realizing how much your character, just like realizing all the theories that we have, you are tied so much into all of these
To all of them,
storylines
yeah.
without even us realizing it until now. Because when you want to think about all these theories and things that could happen, like it all kind of would lie on your back almost.
Yeah.
And now that you found out that Xander's dad died, and then you want to team up with Xander, that's kind of a crazy thing that's about to happen. And then also you're helping out Ben too. So it's like you are the main factor in all of these people finding the answers they want.
Anything to get to Donna.
Yes.
Oh.
And
I
so
like that.
yeah, and you mentioned that like there's like alert, and we saw in the previews that there's either obsession or there's love. Are you able to tell us what you think that you feel for Donna? Is it obsession or is it love?
I believe it's all the above. I believe he feels he loves her, but
Right.
it's also part of the lure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
and obviously when she was doing all of this experimenting on her, was it then that like, because I feel like even though he was obsessed with her, he was still letting this happen. He was still allowing the bad like probing and everything to kind of still do research.
I think if you look back at it again, yeah, that when all that was going on, and the lure started happening, he just started just watching her,
Yeah.
and it became, and then it kind of got deeper and deeper and deeper, and there's more layers as far as she reaching out through her siren. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's very resourceful too. I mean, finding Chris in the middle of where was he?
Alaska.
Yeah. That's like you have to say Antarctica in the middle of Alaska to kind of figure out how he can kind of mend this together. But it's also crazy, and it's insane too how Ben and Maddie's relationship was really tested this episode.
Yes,
it sure
definitely.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been tested the whole time since Ren came along, but this time we were in
This
this
was it.
episode we were really able to see that he's choosing Ren
Choices.
over Maddie.
Choices.
Yes.
Yeah. The choices were more firm in this
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
He specifically said, "Well, I'm leaving. I'm going to get her."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that is
Bye.
right. And that's a crazy thing though, because then that still leaves up in the air. We've been introduced to Xander and Maddie having this past.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
that also leaves me to believe that maybe they will end up together when Maddie's, in a time of need. And I think she's gonna start getting annoyed with Rin and Ben's relationship, and she's
Right.
gonna join Xander with these people are evil. Hence, she's gonna need to be with her dad too.
Yeah. And Maddie did say, like, she agreed with her dad, like, they need to, they can't be a part of our world.
But she is still drawn to Ren.
Yes. Yeah, she
That is
definitely is.
true.
And Ben's like, don't you care about her? Of course I do, but
Even the last line, she's like, "I'll see you later for Ren."
for Ren.
Yes. Yeah.
Not for you. Yeah, she's like, I'm
Yeah.
over you right now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'll be there for
Bam.
Yes.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
That is so interesting though, because they
Yeah.
really all are just like in love with each other.
Yeah. Well, do you think Rin is sensing that from Ben? Like it's something different than what she's getting from Maddie?
I think so.
Well, no, because I personally think she's received love from both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is she noticing like a different, like the way Ben is treating her, like looking at her and touching her, like touching her waist and everything? Like, do you right? And then she turned around and Donna's checking them out, like, what's going on? And Ren's like, it's just love. Ben is love.
We've all slept together already. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally. That's hilarious.
Literally, that's
Three
what I
of
meant.
them, yeah.
I know. Well, it's funny because when we first saw that happen, I was like, yeah, like they're like a threesome, and then I was like, that sounds bad. It's like they're three. They're like the three amigos.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're best
Three
friends.
musketeers.
Yeah.
They're best friends having so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
But the majority of this episode was all about the big showdown and kind of the fight between mermaids in themselves and then mermaids in the humans. And obviously there's a lot of fighting going on, and I know that you've done a lot of fight coordination, choreography, and directing. What was it like for you to kind of be on the opposite side, because your character didn't get to do much fighting?
Yeah, I think, when I do stuff like that, I love fight action. Just, it's another physicality of the character. So as far as me, just, the cast is so lovely. I remember hearing the stories about, oh man, we did all this, and I was like, oh, I'm a little jealous. Yeah.
And did your character have to do any specific trainings? I know some of them had to do water training or stuff with animals.
No, not that they put us through, but I kind of came in kind of later in the project. So as far as casting, but I just did my a lot of my own research. As far as with marine biology and mermaids and all that stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Do you usually, for your preparation for any type of character that you play, how deep do you go research-wise?
I like to go as far as back history, starting from, when he's a little kid and how he develops certain behavior patterns. And then it's about speech patterns, and then it's about physicality. Like you might play a character with a limp or this or that, where just whatever it is, or impediments or whatever it is, you just want to develop that. And then sometimes I play with different choices and see where I'm going to go. And this is even for auditions or meetings, but but as far as getting into the series character, you kind of go through all that.
Definitely. Yeah. Can you tell us, did you make a backstory for Dr. Decker and what his childhood was like, or can you tell us any of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's about he grew up straight. Family was just straight. Could have had military parents and stuff, but whatever he did, whatever the purpose was, as far as maybe furthering his scientific and medical research, now comes to play with the military. So whatever it was, the military gives him this opportunity, but the military has their own reasons for his studies. So I think he's been constantly torn. So his thing is just staying focused about the work, so he doesn't get caught up in the drama. But then he gets sirened.
So do you think your character at his core, if he hadn't been lured, do you think he would have felt some type of way about the research and kind of them hurting Donna? Do you think he would have been torn between this is my job, but this is right?
Yeah, I feel that he definitely would have gone further in the testing and research.
Okay.
But there might be a small part that maybe would want to, have a little more leniency as far as when she's really, because you don't want to kill.
Exactly.
Because you want to, but there's a lot of pressure from the military too. So it's a matter of if you're thinking in the big picture, then is one speech, one subject, worth the sacrifice for the bigger picture. So that's what Decker's about. Okay. So that's how you would answer that question. Because for me, I think Decker would do that. Eventually, if he had to do that for the bigger picture, then he would continue until she's pushed to the edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, that even helps as an audience to kind of put the pieces together and kind of see how he is a bigger picture kind of person, just as we just stated before, because he's tied into everybody's storyline right now.
Right.
And so there's really no way to kind of stray away from that kind of bigger picture feel.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we obviously don't know what the season finale has to hold. So,
But I have to say, the producers and the writers, they were wonderful in the fact that they developed, and they, because that was my own thing, what I brought into it, and it kind of, formed, symmetrically with what they were going after with Decker. But they developed this, fully layered guy, and the vulnerabilities and being torn between stuff. So, I love the character. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's super fun to watch because every time you see him, you want more, only because you want more answers. And you want to know what his motives are, what he's thinking, what he's feeling. And so when you see him, he just adds this extra layer to the scene. And you're like, what's going on in his mind?
Exactly.
Or why are you here is mainly always the question.
Yeah.
The question is wait, why?
It's dun,
Why
dun,
are you
dun.
always there? Why are you there? How did you get there? Those are all the questions that come to mind. How did he get there? It's just, everything. You're always everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of always everywhere was definitely those mermaids, and they just kept showing up. So my question for you guys is, do you think that these other mermaids are actually going to the water, or do you think they're going to stick on land to kind of figure out what their plan is?
I think for the rest of the season, I think they're done. I think they're going to the water. Will they come back next season? Yes.
With some more
With
mermaids.
some more, yeah.
But I guess it depends on, because we don't know how they work. There was, I don't remember which character said it, but it was a matriarchy. So Rin is like the head now. So are they going to listen to her if she sends them back to the water, or are they going to come back and defy her?
Rebellion.
Especially since now that she's with the humans, so like that's against what they want, right? So I don't know.
I guess I'm wondering.
You guys are breaking it down.
That's what we do. We legitimately take theories and we're like, oh, but maybe this could happen. We have theories that Ben's mom could have been a mermaid at one point, and that's how she ended up in the wheelchair. Or we don't really understand that whole thing, but we've got some crazy theories. Karla's like, I'm a believer all the way through and through.
They're out there, y'all.
Yeah.
I always say the same thing, but I was every single time I'm like, we don't know 95% of the ocean. Like 95% of the ocean hasn't been studied. So there's
never
like
know.
people can't be like, oh no, this animal doesn't exist because you haven't actually gone
And we don't
deep
know
enough
how
to
deep.
like,
we don't even know how deep the ocean
we don't even know
is.
how deep the ocean is.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is funny
crazy.
because we were thinking that the whole reason that they wanted to kill is because they were angry about the food situation. But clearly that doesn't even have anything to do with what's happening right now.
Yeah, that they're
So-
trying to protect themselves as a species.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's so insane. But yeah, and Xander went a little crazy this episode, which we've kind of been waiting for it to
We
happen.
knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Which is
Poor
making me
Xander.
stray away more and more from the theory that I had about his dad coming back to life.
Did you think that?
Yeah, I thought his
did.
dad was going to become a mermaid.
But he was dead.
No, but I thought that like somehow in the water.
yeah.
No, because you said how they, how she explained last week's episode, she explained how they also like when one of them passes, like they swim with the body and they take it to a sacred place
In the deep.
So that's what she was like, oh, maybe the sacred place will bring him
come
back
back.
to life.
Yeah,
Oh
which
my
clearly
gosh.
these mermaids are like indestructible almost.
Wow.
I mean, she's like has a huge shot and she's not gonna die.
She's not dead yet. She's struggling right
Yeah,
now.
that she is. But Dr. Decker's gonna come and save the day. Which I'm wondering, what you probably can answer, is that he has all these vials, right? But they were in the place that got burned down. So what does he really have used to them right now?
Did you save some stuff, Decker?
Sips tea.
I know. I heard some of the other actors say that as like filming was progressing, like you didn't know like too far ahead of how the story was going. So
No.
did you have, were there certain predictions of yours that like came true? Where you're like, oh, I think this is gonna happen. Like something that's already happened, so it's not a spoiler. But is anything like the writers like, oh, I called that?
All kinds of things are going through my head.
Yeah.
Yes, one of them came close, but
Okay.
but I can't say.
Oh,
Okay. Fair enough.
I know we're like slowly but surely. I told them we weren't gonna.
I was like, oh man, I gotta pull back. Okay.
I told them we weren't gonna get him in trouble, guys. We gotta hold back with
Yeah.
that. I want to do a really fun segment with you, really quick, where we do a mermaid this or that, where we, give you what you would like to do, what you would rather. So this one is: would you rather be a siren or Disney mermaid?
Siren.
Siren? Why? Why choose siren?
He's like,
Everybody gives
this
us like
gets
a
more
specific
complicated.
reason.
Disney mermaids too PG. That's where you get a little.
Yes.
That's
There's,
true.
there's definitely more
The
layers. Yeah.
sirens have so many layers, and
Yeah.
there's so much
they're strong.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are strong and they're
They're
intense.
aggressive. They're fun.
They're fun. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Mountains. Do you go hiking a lot?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ocean or pool?
Ocean.
Ocean. You're not scared of the ocean? No sharks or anything?
I actually have a great love and fear of the ocean.
Oh my gosh, can you explain that a little?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I almost drowned.
Oh.
But I love water. So
Oh my
yeah, so there was
gosh.
I used to have a recurring nightmare for like years
Oh, no.
of drowning and so
Oh my gosh,
so it was
I'm
that
so
kind
sorry.
of no, but it's actually it was it's all good. I mean for
Yeah, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah,
That's scary.
like-
You're bringing
no.
back
One
all
of
the
my
memories.
no,
right?
no. It's like, oh, no.
Oh my God, I feel terrible.
But, because as a little kid, you don't know what, I think it was probably because my family took me to see Poseidon Adventure or something like that.
Okay.
Right.
So I started, having nightmares of not just me, but my family drowning and
Yeah,
that kind
that's
of stuff.
so scary.
So it was crazy. But then, no, I grew up just loving water, too. So it's kind of
A push
Yeah.
and pull.
yeah.
Yeah. And amazing in that you're in a show that has to deal with the ocean. Fisherman or marine biologist?
Fisherman.
Fisherman.
Really?
Oh.
I totally thought you were gonna say marine biologist.
No, science and math aren't my thing.
I actually have a
just acting.
question as far as like the marine biologist. Did you do like research as far as like sirens and stuff? What for like the marine biologist, like for Dr. Decker?
Yeah.
What would you say was the like most interesting fact that you found, or type of research thing that you found?
I think I was more interested in the myths, as far as the marine biology, just as far as just studying up on that. Those are just scientific terms and all
Yeah.
that stuff, and what they're aspiring to do. With, I think it's me putting my imagination into the myth of the mermaid and what happened. And plus, with the writers doing their thing, it was just great. Yeah.
Cool.
That's so cool. And then we have mermaid believer or denier.
Believer.
Believer.
Yay!
That's what Team Karla.
Yeah. Does this have to do with the research that you did, the mythology research?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of myth. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah, because it comes from somewhere, So.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's what I always
I
say.
totally
Yeah.
believe that.
It is true, and also like there's so many different renditions of mermaids, and how I don't know, it's so interesting to where you kind of feel like you can't not believe in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, super fun. Okay, so getting back to it, I don't know. I just feel like there's so many different relationships and things that are going on right now, and I just don't feel like I have hope with Maddie and Ben. And I
Me
just
either.
after this episode, I was like, I'm totally fully in on Rin and Ben. I think that's happening all the way.
Damn.
I was definitely not ready to ship them yet.
But
so
I feel like it's happening before our eyes.
you think so? I feel
Yes.
like
It's a pretty
for-
big rift.
I have faith.
you have faith. Do you think that it's happening for Rin as well, or just for Ben? Like, is it mutual?
No, it's definitely, well, for me, I think it's definitely more so Ben and like Rin.
Really?
I don't know, because Rin, I think, loves them both, like you said. Like
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, you're my friend," and like she's just drawn to them because I don't think it's like a, I don't know, romantic thing yet. It might get there, but right now I think it's just I don't know. What, you don't think?
I just think that I think she's realizing how much he's put on the line for her.
Right.
And I mean, she's obviously super smart, and she's been able to kind of come to realization of all these feelings that she's feeling. And I think that she knows that he's going to protect her at all costs. And I think she's aware of that feeling and knowing that maybe she hasn't felt that about another person that's felt that they were going to protect her besides her family, besides her sister. And I think that like bond that they have is going to make them even stronger. And you kind of heard it in the preview where she was like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that song would do that, or something along those lines. So I think that she even will be hurt by the fact that she doesn't want him to be obsessed with her. Like, I think she would want that mutual love.
And I think she'd feel bad about breaking up him and Maddie. Like, I feel like she'd,
But I don't think she would understand that.
Oh.
Yeah, because she
You're
might
right.
think that that's just how things are. Because she does kiss them all.
Especially if
Yeah.
Maddie
She does
starts
kiss
a
them all.
relationship with Xander, and then she's gonna be like, oh, then she's gonna go and kiss Xander as well. Just kidding.
Oh,
Which
goodness.
with Xander, where we think he's like, is he gonna? He's obviously not gonna stay in jail. He's gonna get out. But when he gets out, he's gonna pair up with Dr. Decker. But then,
I don't think that he's gonna pair up with Dr. Decker. I think it was just for that.
Ron, if you guys are listening on the podcast, he's like smiling and trying to keep all of this in.
Darn it, I can't
He's
This
like,
is
I
so
know
hard.
what's happening next episode, but honestly, I think Dr. Decker just said that because he was going to use Xander. I don't know why I was gonna call him Dexter. He was gonna use Xander just to get to Donna, but I don't think it was like, oh hey, like let's team up, because how can Dr. Decker actually help Xander? Like Dr. Decker hasn't even ever seen what this siren looks like that killed his dad, you know?
the merman?
He's just doing it for himself, like to find Donna, because even Xander asks him, what do you want, like what are you gonna do with Donna, you know? And he doesn't answer, you just walk away. Like you always leave us with so many questions. So I don't think that he was just now that Ben has called Dr. Decker to come and help them with Donna, like why would he need to team up with Xander for? I think if anything, I'm kind of glad that Xander went through this in a way, so that way
He needed to get it out.
he needed to get it out, and now he's like, wait a second, like I need to control myself and I
Yeah.
need to make sure that I know what I'm doing. And
Exactly.
I think this might mean that he's gonna go back out in the water and he's going to maybe try and find this merman, but I feel like this is this is going to help him to move on to the next step and maybe to be able to create a relationship with Maddie if that is going to be the case.
So many questions. I wish that Ron could answer. I know. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could go either way. It's all up in the air. But this episode was overall very well. It was amazing. And it added all that action that you're kind of waiting for a little bit, and especially leading up to the season finale, because we really don't know. There's so many little storylines going on right now where we don't know which direction it's actually going to lead into.
Exactly.
Which is super exciting, guys.
Yes, I'm so
And
stoked.
we do have the chat open for you guys that are sending in your thoughts. Please, if you have any questions for Ron, let us know. We will try to answer those. If you're listening on the podcast, we have a live chat going on our YouTube channel where people can kind of send us their thoughts and feelings. But we would like to just spend some time and talk about you, Ron, and what's going on in your world. So you mentioned that you just got back from China recently.
Yeah.
So what were you working
I was
on there?
directing, finished directing a Step Up film.
Fun.
So it was Step Up China. So it was for China, Asia, and Europe. Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
exciting.
It's all
Yes,
all Mandarin language.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So do you speak both?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my
That's
gosh.
super cool.
Yeah, Karla is fluent in 3 languages.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice. Nice.
I always find it so inspiring
Oh my
almost and like
gosh, yeah.
aspirational when people speak multiple languages.
It's
It's
cool.
like, it's
Yeah.
so cool because then you can, I don't know, it's just I feel like your brain must think in so many different, like even think differently. in
Yeah,
a
it
way.
depends on the
Yeah.
subject
It does,
for me.
yeah. And it is, yeah. You kind of like, oh wow, I thought about that in Chinese.
Yeah.
So you actually think about the language you thought about it. Sometimes I don't even realize that I thought about it in a different language. It's just it's so strange.
Yeah. So obviously Step Up, this is a dancing movie. Do you have like a dancing background?
No, I was a big fan of dance, I think, since I was a little kid, but it just, it kind of just fell in my lap. And then I'm a fan of, like, you know, back in the day when was it Baryshnikov and Gregory Hines did that film, White Nights, and,
Yeah.
you know, just all that jazz. I'm just trying to think of all the, even Flashdance, I think, when I was a
Yes.
little kid watching it. But I've always been a fan of dance and martial arts. I think a lot of physical stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. And then obviously you're into the whole like stunt game and choreography in that direction. How did you get involved in that?
When I first got here, because like I grew up doing theater since I was in 2nd grade, so in New York, and so when I first came out to Cali like 20 years back, you know, it was like the parts were a little scarce, you know, as far as just like, you know, for Asians, and it was like, all right, let's do a, you know, martial arts film, you know, B level, you gotta play villain or this or that. So it kind of forced me to get back into the martial arts roots. And then slowly, when, you know, you're doing projects, then producers know that, oh, you can move like that, blah, blah, blah. The films that I acted in, I met with the coordinators, and they would call me back, hey, do you want to do this? And I was thinking, oh, this is kind of cool. Okay, if I'm not acting, I can, like, choreograph or design an action sequence and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did for a little bit a while back.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which led into directing action,
Right.
and then which led into directing First Unit, yeah.
Wow. That is so like fascinating too, because how do you kind of map out a stunt choreography scene? How does that kind of go down?
Well, first, you gotta see what the story's about, and you gotta make sure that whatever action you design, it fits in tone with the characters and the story, and what, you know, if you're not the director, that you have to be in line with the director. So you know, so if it's like, you know, an all-out period piece martial arts action, then there's a very specific type of choreography for back in the day. If it's
Right.
current, you know, then, you know, like today, there's going to be definitely a lot of MMA like techniques applied, and, you know, a lot of mixed martial arts. So it just depends on what kind of film you're doing or TV show you're doing.
Amazing. What's the craziest stunt maybe you've even directed or been in? Like been involved in? Do you remember?
Oh, I'm trying to think. There's been a lot.
Yeah. or like, has there been any scary things that have
Injuries or-
happened?
yeah.
Oh man, I did this thing in Hong Kong with my brother. It was for we were at Shaw Brothers lot, which is like, you ever see those Saturday afternoon kung fu flicks? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So basically, Shaw Brothers is the main, you know, studio that they used to shoot all those old kung fu flicks from the 60s and 70s and stuff. So we were there doing. It was actually a video game that was supposed to turn into a film. This is back in the 90s and stuff. So, but it was crazy because my brother was. We all had to get fly on top of these pagodas and come down as our intro. So when it was my brother's turn, there was because we have Hong Kong crew guys that are on the rope. So if a guy is on top, he jumps off. The guys are controlling him with the rope, right? So,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
scary.
We'll lead up to the story, like, oh no.
yeah, and they're called man poles, right?
Yeah.
So that day there were some cute girls that walked on set, and I was there that day. And I just saw all the guys on the, Roger was standing at the edge. There was a little break in between the shots. So the guys were just dropping the rope. They were like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And the girls were like, "Okay." Hey. And all of a sudden, people started screaming because the rope was going.
No.
All the guys. So my brother, it was like, I'm laughing, it's bad. But anyways, he literally fell like 60 feet, right about 4 feet off the ground. They were able to catch the rope and stop him. So at the time, I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And then,
Oh
yeah,
no!
so that was.
Wait, so their excuse was because cute girls walked on set?
No, I saw it. That's what happened.
Oh my god.
No, I saw it. No, they literally, the team was just like, they'd say, "Ooh, hey,
What
how you
in
doing?"
the
Hey.
world?
So the rope is going. They're like, "Oh shit!" So, can I say
feet?
that? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
For YouTube.
Yeah.
Insane.
So that's why I'm saying
That's
it's scary.
scary.
No, there's been a lot more scarier
Right.
situations, but that's my own bro. So it's
Yeah.
like,
of course.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, well, I find that it's very interesting the way that can kind of be incorporated into a film, because obviously when you see something that's, the final product, you don't sometimes think about the set design and the choreography and, everything that went into each bit of that character and what they're portraying on scene. Like, there's so much behind it. So I think stunt coordination is definitely an art in itself.
Oh my gosh!
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's so great. And obviously you're kind of a jack of all trades, though, because you act, you direct, you produce, you
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
stunts.
it was, and I think for me, it's like all my buddies that are stunt guys, like the advantage they have is because it's almost like blocking becomes, they don't even have to think about, whereas certain actors that come in, they're like, they really got to focus down. But when you do stunts and all that stuff, it's always about that. It's almost like being a dancer. You always got to know, you got to be comfortable what area you're working in. So when actors are more familiar with stunt work, it actually makes them better actors.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
they're more in that comfort zone. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
And do you think it made it easier for you to direct that type of stuff, since you are an actor, or a stunt, you've done all that stuff?
I think so. I think it all helped, and
Yeah.
I love to capture certain things. So for me, the most amazing thing about the whole experience in China was like casting the dancers and the actors, because it was like we really wanted to find people that could really dance, whereas China, the previous dance films, they would always get like TV personalities, but they couldn't really dance, so they would have a double, and
Right.
the audience has evolved now that they know
You
that's a
can
double.
tell.
Yeah.
So, exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we are kind of running out of time, but first of all, I would like to say congratulations to Siren and to you for a season 2.
Thank you guys.
We are all, as fans, so excited. Everybody in the chat is saying congratulations to you and the cast for
That's
getting
awesome.
a season 2. I mean, what was that like? What when you got that text of season 2 renewal?
Yeah, we were always like every week. We're like to the to some of the producers were like, "Did you hear yet? Did you hear yet?" And we're like, "I don't know. It sounds good. Yeah, they're loving it. And okay, but just don't know yet." So every week, so you kind of become numb to it. But then when it really hit, we're like, "Whoa, it's really happening." So
Right.
yeah.
So what was the first thing that you saw that you knew, oh my gosh, it's renewed? Was it like a text, something on social media?
It was
Like-
actually through, we have a group chat
Yeah.
with the cast, right? So it was actually a few other people that put it down first. And I was like, oh, but the thing is, for me, honestly, I wasn't surprised because I felt like,
It was
yeah,
doing really well.
The
for me
traction.
personally, I
Right.
felt like it was doing really well and that, everyone's doing a wonderful job. So.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations to you and the cast. I mean, we've mentioned this so many times. You all are so lovely, and we're
Yes.
so thankful
you.
to have you in, either on Skype or in the studio, and we just appreciate your time. And you've put together such an amazing piece of art and TV, and obviously with the directors and the showrunners and everything on it, it's just phenomenal.
Thank you
so
so
we
much.
commend
Thank
you
you.
guys. We're so thankful. And really quick, ladies, let's do some predictions for
Yes.
the season
I've
finale.
been waiting for this.
Carla's been like aching to get there.
I didn't even tell you guys my prediction because
You've been,
I've been holding it in. And that's weird because I normally like blur out my predictions as soon as they come out.
Okay, Karla, hit us with it.
I don't like my prediction, and I hope my prediction isn't right. But in the preview that we see a floating body that probably got attacked by some sirens, and I have a really bad feeling that it's actually going to be Dr. Decker. It can't be Ben. It can't be Ben. Ben
Yeah,
can't
he's
be the
he's
one.
the main character.
Yeah, I think that the whole purpose, I feel like each character serves a purpose, and I think the purpose for Dr. Decker was to come and save Donna, to do his research, to do all of that, and then I don't know. I feel like he might.
Well, Karla, I have to say, because we did interview David Kay yesterday, who plays Jerry, which we will be feeding into our show next week, and he said that you had great predictions and that you should be a writer. So basically, we're gonna take Karla's predictions and be like, okay, so maybe this can happen.
Okay.
I mean, that sounds kind of legit. So
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I hope.
yeah, I hope not. Ron.
You're like sitting next to me. I'm already killing you in the show.
Wow.
Alrighty, Sarah, what are you thinking?
It's okay.
I think Ben and Maddie are going to break up.
Yeah.
If people don't already think they are broken up already. And it's Rin being caught in the middle is gonna be a huge rift between them. And I think Donna will survive, like barely, and I think that she's gonna stay on land for a little bit, like to recover and everything. I think we'll like get to know more of her. I don't think she's going back in the water.
I don't think that the mermaids are dead or are gone back to the water. I think that they're luring around to kind of see what's going on, and even though Rin is technically in charge now, maybe it's something where they like go back to the deep depths of the water and find out that it's like mermaid mayhem, and people are angry because they're finding out that Rin and her sister technically chose humans over their own kind, which I think will, put a big wedge between, this species, and I think that there's going to be some sort of interruption in that fact. And then I think that with Ben and Maddie, I agree with you. I think they're going to break up, and I think that this whole situation of Donna kind of dying and Ben being there for them, knowing that, this kind of is what killed Danner's dad, I think that they're going to really bond and be there for each other, and then it's going to kind of open up old feelings that they'll kind of lash out, Xander and Maddie.
Oh, okay.
So it'll open up old feelings, and I think that it'll maybe be a little alcohol-induced. I don't know. So they'll be at the bar.
It always is, right?
Yeah. I don't know. That's like the basis of it. But I do agree at the same time, though, what Karla said earlier is that Xander is going to take some time in prison and not want to like hurt anybody anytime soon, because he's going to realize that anger. Yeah, like that's scary. Like he might even not know that he's just in the drunk tank. He might think he's going to be in there for life. So, and he's going to be like, Ben, I'm sorry. So I don't know. We'll figure that out. And it's going to be very interesting. And I cannot wait for the season finale and season 2, which is super exciting.
So much to look forward to.
But yes, thank you guys so much in the chat. We appreciate all of you guys. And most of all, Ron, thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Yeah, thank
My
you
pleasure.
so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
We so appreciate it. Where can they find you on social media?
Twitter, Instagram, my name.
Ron Yuan.
Yeah.
Perfect. And Karla Beltran, where can they find you?
Hey guys, you can follow me on Instagram at I am Karla Beltran, or on Twitter at Karla Beltran with an R at the end.
Sarah Lyons.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Sarah Lioness, Lioness with a Y, or Instagram at Sarah_Lioness.
And hey guys, Allie Nasta here. Find me on Twitter at Allie Nasta and on Instagram at AllieGirl. And we do have David Kay that will be an interview rolled into our show next week, so you won't want to miss it. And of course, it's the season finale, so we'll have a lot of juicy things to talk about. We'll see you then. Bye guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.